Well, hey, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Today is not April 10th in the year 2025. And it's a beautiful morning here in the beautiful city of Cape Coral in the dysfunctional bipolar state of Florida. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, AK. How do I get this off of here? I want this off. I want this off. Let's see. Things be popping up and I be touching stuff and I just want stuff to be off. Delete comment. Okay. Good morning, Miss AKA. I didn't mean to delete your comment. I was trying to get that other thing off. But good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? How are you feeling this morning? How's things going for you this morning? It's chilly it's chilly today. It is chilly this morning. I don't know what's going on with this weather. It be hot. Well, it's springtime. But this weather here in Florida, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it at all. I don't understand it at all. Yeah, same thing here. I want to get that off. I ain't gonna even mess with it no more. Um, yeah, so okay, just leave it there. Whatever, just share your link. All right. As I said, mm, today, yesterday was the beginning of we had our youth revival yesterday. And it was amazing. It really was. It was amazing to see the children that came and participated. This choir from another church came and it was beautiful. They sung so beautiful, and their praise team, their praise dancers, they were beautiful. It was nice just to see all of our youth come out and participate, and it was a nice night. It was a really nice night, and it was a humbling experience as well to see young people get up and give a testimony about how God has blessed them, how God has healed them, how God has just kept them. One young man that is you don't never know what people are going through. You never know what people are going through, especially young people. And you have to, as parents and as grandparents and as aunties and um, cousins, older cousins, it is our duty to protect our children to the best of our ability. Um, we must engage our children. We must engage our grandchildren. My daughter has a thing about children. She really do. And if she see a child, it don't have to be hers. It don't have to be hers. If she see that they are in some kind of trouble, if she see them not doing right, when she see them doing good things, she always like to congratulate them or go to them and let them know it's a better way to do this. She was on her way to work one morning, and she saw where the police had stopped this black girl and her boyfriend, and she on her way to work, and she turned around and she went back to make sure that those kids were all right. They were, the police had them carloads of two cars, two carloads of police came for two teenagers, two black teenagers. And she turned around and she wanted to make sure that those kids were all right. She stopped, let her window down, took her phone, and let the police know that she was recording. And she mouthed the words, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" And they were saying, "Yes, ma'am, we all right." She said, "Well, I'm just going to sit here, until everything is over with." And my daughter sat there in her car, filming the police, make sure they didn't, do anything, provoke those young people to where they could do something to them, and then she late for work. It don't matter. We have to protect our children. And just to hear those young people, hear this young man say how he was in a dark place at one time. However, but God, to hear young people, to hear that young man say that, and how God pulled him through that, and how God healed his body. And it was just amazing. It was just awesome just to hear those testimonies to hear his testimony. And then there's another little girl that's in my church as well, that go attend the same church as I do. And I so admire this little girl because she reminds me so much of Jordan. And this little girl, her mom is just like my daughter. Um, Keep her kids involved in a lot of things, keep them involved with a lot of things. And she was just saying how she thanked God for blessing her to start in two plays at one time, Beetlejuice and Half Spray. And she's doing the same play that my granddaughter is doing. So we got to teach our children. We got to teach our children, because if we don't teach our children, the world is going to teach them. Satan is just ready to snatch our children away from us. And if and the Bible tells you about training a child while they're young, so when they get old, they won't depart from it. Excuse me, won't depart from that teacher. And not saying that they're not going to go astray, not saying that they're not going to want to do their own thing, and not saying, not trying to paint no real bright picture that the children just not going to do anything because they're going to church. Yeah, they're going to get into some stuff. That's the only way they're going to learn, and that's the only way that they are going to get experience. They're going to do some things, but the word of God that's imparted in them, that seed that has been planted in them, it is, God, you know, does the plan, Jesus doing doing the increase and the watering and stuff like that. So, we got to be the one to nurture and prune and show our kids the right way. And that is why we decided in our love ministry at church to have this tea party, because we wanted to bridge that generation gap, to let our children, let our young ladies know, look, ain't nothing y'all going through that we ain't been through. It's just a different time. It's same stuff, different time. Peer pressure. You're going through a valley sometime and you don't know how to navigate going through that valley. Not understanding your body, not understanding, and sometimes just not even understanding life sometimes. And even as adults, we still get that wrong. We still working on that ourselves. So we have to be mindful of what we do in front of our children. We have to be mindful of what we say in front of our children. We have to be mindful of w- w- not only what we're doing and what we're saying, but what we're projecting to them. We can't tell them one thing and show them something totally different. Because the children of the day, they not made like we were. They are not made like we were, because see, we wasn't bad enough to talk. But it's not even about them being bad enough or bold enough. These children these days let you know exactly how they feel. They don't hide what they feel. They don't hide their feelings. They let you know, no, this is wrong, but you said this, but you doing this. They let you know. They let you know. And when my kids was growing up, I gave them permission. You can tell me, you can talk to me. You could talk to me if you feel like I've done something wrong, if you feel like I've done something, said something wrong, you can give me your impact, you and your input. But just because I'm an adult, that don't mean I know everything. And you know what? There's a bridge, a bridge, a gap between uh, generations. There's a gap between generations, and the mothers that's raising children these days, I applaud them. I really do. I'm so inspired by, some of the women that married and single women that I see that's raising their children and doing the things that they're doing with their children and for their children. So, we are on our way out. These children are coming in. So we got to teach them the way. We got to teach them how to stand tall and be proud of who they are and be proud of their ancestors, where they came from. See, because they say they came over, they brought all these black people over here as slaves. No, they didn't bring slaves over here. They brought farmers, they brought and astrologers, they brought nurses, they brought doctors, they brought kings, they brought queens, you know, they brought lawyers, they brought architects, they brought all different kind of people with all different kind of knowledge over here. Our ancestors became slaves. They didn't come over here to, as a slave. They became slaves as when they came over here. So we got to teach our children. And I went last night, because trying to finalize this tea party, and had, so when I got there, they were, well, I thought you would be here earlier. No, I got here when I got here. And I thank God that I got there, and I thank God that I went. And the subject that he was talking about last night was what was it? Revival, renewal, and transformation. Revival, renewal, and transformation. Revive, renew, and transformation. So there should be some transformation after this revival. And it was just so amazing not to see the children on their phones. Not some of them did. One little girl did go to sleep. I think she was just angry at her grandma about something, because she was giving her grandma the eye. Her and her grandma was giving each other the eye last night. And but it was just amazing. And the theme was revival, renewal, and transformation. But the subject was get rid of, question mark. Get rid of, exclamation point. Get rid of, exclamation point. And I took that in account for myself. I took that in account for myself. So before I start, I just want to thank AKA for being here. Good morning, Shirley. I thank you for being here. And Sean, I thank you for being here as well. And Lady Rowe, I thank you for being here. And I thank the people that's listening this morning. I thank you as well for being here. And I ask you to hit that like and share button. And if you are not a subscriber, please help me get to 1,700 subscribers sometime this year. And then, that's all I can say, sometime this year. But anyway, the subject was get rid of. And I was sitting there, and when he said that, he's an educator. He's the pastor that was bringing, that's pastoring over the revival, is is a school teacher. So he knows some of this slang, what the teenagers are saying. Is so he's kind of in tune with the kids a little bit, because he see some of them every day, in school. So he know what that slang talk is, because it changed from generation to generation, and it's I sometimes seem like from month to month they got a new word out and you trying to figure out what that mean and what they're saying. So, oh, excuse me, his subject was get rid of. Get rid of. And I was sitting there and I was listening to him. And I took notes, but I don't even know what I did with my purse. What I did, oh, my purse is over there. Let me get my purse. What is it? Renewal transformation. Oh, it's renewal. Okay. It was renewal, transformation, and growth. Renewal, transformation, and growth. Because when you are renewed, you are transformed. And there should be some growth in, good morning, Guta. There should be some growth in that renewing and that transformation because you're transforming from the old into the new. And there is some growth in there, or it should be some growth in it. And he was talking about when you know like children experience so much stuff, and our parents some of our grandparents, and if we were fortunate enough, our great grandparents and our great great grandparents, they did us a disservice because they didn't talk about a lot of things, and mental illness. They didn't talk about mental health. They didn't talk about mental illness. They like to sweep things under the rug, and we don't talk about what goes on in this house, and all kind of good morning. I can't pronounce your name, but good morning. What is it? Keisha. I ain't gonna even try, but you know, good morning, Miss Kitchen. I'm KK. Good morning, KK. I'm gonna call you that because all I can pronounce is the kitchen part. And they did us a disservice by not being. Oh, good morning, Lady B. I didn't know that you were here. Um, they did us a disservice by not being honest with us and not being truthful with us about a lot of things and saying, well, what goes on in this house, stay in this house, all of that kind of stuff, and they wasn't, and they were, it was like they were afraid to talk to us about sex and, but they'll tell you keep your dress tail down and your panties pulled up because and at some point they even had us scared to say they even had us scared if you kiss a boy you get pregnant, all that kind of stuff. That was a disservice to us. And the one thing about the kids these days, if you don't tell them, social media is not going to only tell them, social media is going to show them. So that's why we gotta, we ain't gotta. And my daughter used to tell me growing up, Mama, you my best friend. I said, no, I'm not your best friend, baby. No, don't get that twisted. We ain't friends. But you could come to me and talk to me about a lot of things. I would prefer that you come to me and whatever you need to know, ask me because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything with you. I'm not going to do that. And I didn't do that. But baby, we ain't friends because how you talk to your friends, you can't talk to me like that. And I know there's some things that you not gonna tell me that you will tell your friends. And then we don't, and we shouldn't get bent out of shape when our kids don't come to us and talk to us, but they go to another adult, or maybe a family member, maybe a guidance counselor at school, maybe one of their teachers. We shouldn't get bent out of shape. I remember when at the church that I was at before I came to this church, I was secretary of Sunday school. So I had these little girl. I had four young ladies, training them to become secretary of Sunday school. They helped me count the money. They helped me to go around to the classes and pick up the money. And so I would take these young ladies out and we would have lunch. And I was just letting them know if there's anything that's troubling you and you're afraid to tell your parent, we could talk about it. But I just want you to know if it's something that I feel that your parent need to know, we're going to have to we're going to have to tell them. And if you need me to sit down with you while you're telling your parent, I will do that. And if you need to, me, you, and the pastor and your parents sit down together and talk about it, we gonna figure this thing out so we can get this thing, right, and get you on the right path. So as adults, we got to stop thinking we so grown that we know everything. I ain't grown. I'm not grown. I don't tell nobody I'm grown. I stopped saying I'm grown, because when you say you're grown, that means you have grown, and you there's nothing else you can learn. I am growing. So therefore I say I am an adult, and I am still learning. You know, I learned things from my granddaughter. I learned things from my grandchildren, period. My granddaughter, 18 years old, and I'm learning stuff from her. I got 6, 7, what, 5, 6, 7 year old grandchildren. I learned things from them. So they are growing. I'm growing too. When I learn something from them, that means I'm growing. I'm still learning. Because if you say you grown, that means you don't learn everything there is for you to learn. And then you can't tell grown people that, because they know everything. And I know you done told your child. If you ain't told your child, you done told your grandchild. You think you grown, you think you know everything, but then they have to go and bump their head to see that wall gonna still be there, but your head gonna have a big old knot up there, and then you're gonna be done busted wide open sometime to the white meat. So when an adult tell you, you know, that's not the way to go. If you keep going that way, there's going to be repercussions and consequences behind your action. And then, most of the time they have to learn for themselves. They have to learn for themselves. And so he was saying, get rid of those stinking attitudes. And when he was saying that, I said, not only the children got to get rid of them stinking attitudes, the parents got to get rid of those, the adults got to get rid of the stinking attitudes as well. Because with the attitude, it brings on stress, it brings on anxiety. And when you got stress will kill you. Stress will kill you. And anxiety will have you in a corner biting your toenails. It will physically and mentally cause harm to your body. That's what a bad attitude does. So he was saying, get rid of that attitude. Because if you don't get rid of that attitude and get rid of that meanness and get rid of that unforgiveness, it's going to mess your body up. It is going to mess your body up. And I took it a step further, even with adults. Stop being so fragile when it comes to your children. Stop being so fragile when it comes to yourself. You're so easily to be offended. And there is a way that I like to be talked to. When someone is coming and say, I'll give you an example. We were at a funeral, and sometimes I am being more aware of what I say, and I'm being more aware of how I say it, right? So it was one of the young, and I love her, and she's the minister leader over the singles ministry. Sweet young lady, and she's a school teacher, and I love her natural hair because she has that thick, like curly. It's not curly, but I think it's like what they call 4C, but it's thick and it's pretty. And I like the way she style it in her natural, style her natural hair. So once we were at one of our members, somebody in their family had passed away. We were at the funeral, and she came up to me, and I looked at her, and I said, "Girl, what?" You know, I looked at her and I said, "Well, what's wrong?" And she said, Miss Marita, you like my wig?" I said, And I said, "Don't wear that no more." And and then I didn't. She wasn't offended. She said, "You want it?" I said, no, and don't you wear it no more." And she know who I am, and she know that it was no mean intention in me saying that. because I'm so used to seeing her natural hair. And then when you tell a see, I'm just gonna be honest with people. I am gonna be honest. I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. Well, I know you know better. You thought you walked out the house and thought that actually looked good. You look like Mabel in the kitchen that worked in the kitchen, that worked in the school cafeteria with that wig on. Girl, don't wear that wig no more. And she started laughing. And so I didn't tell nobody about it. I did not tell nobody about it. And it was like two people standing around, and we just laughed about it. We wasn't laughing at her; they were laughing at what I said, and she was laughing at it. So she go to church, and she said, "Now, one thing about Miss Marita, she gonna be honest, cause I had wore a wig, and she told me not to wear that wig no more. She said that's the way we supposed to be with each other. And then you could go to a person in love. Constructive criticism is so easy to swallow. It is easy to swallow. But when you just criticizing somebody, get rid of that old nasty, stinking attitude that you have. Get rid of that mean spirit and get rid of that unforgiveness. Get rid of all of that because it's not going to take you anywhere. It's not going to take you anywhere, and people are not going to want to be around you. When people see you coming, they're going to start finding something to do. They're going to start looking through their purse, looking for something. They ain't going to be looking for nothing. They just don't want to be bothered with you. So it's, what you have to get rid of. And the things that you have to get rid of, start working on those things. Start praying and asking God to deliver you from those things. Because it's not helping, it's hindering. It's not helping. It's not helping you at all. It is hindering you. And sometimes we have to sit back and think, okay, what do I need to get rid of? What is it that I need to get rid of? What you know, am I is my walk what I think it is? Am I talking the way that I should be talking? Am I listening the way I should be listening? And am I doing what it is that I need to be doing and what I should be doing? And the Bible tells us the very thing that we shouldn't do, those are the things that we do. Those are the very things that we do, the things that we should. Seem like it's just so hard to do the right thing sometimes. Seem like it's so easy to just tell a person, you know, I can't tell you. Don't ask me how you look in something. Don't ask me, girl, I can't tell you, girl, you sung that song. I can't tell you that. Because, see, you already know you're tone deaf. You can't sing, but you get up there and try it anyway. But, and that's okay. That's okay because if God led you to do that, don't let nobody talk you out of not doing that. Get rid of that fear because fear is not one of those fruits that you should be bearing on your tree. Fear don't come from God. Fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. That is not from God. That is a tool of the devil. God did not, the Bible tells us, God did not give us a spirit of fear. And if you are fearful about something, do it anyway. Do it anyway. That's called faith. You know what? I'm kind of apprehensive about it. Dare I say I'm a little nervous about it. However, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to trust God enough to do it anyway. You know what? They might reject what I'm getting ready to say. They might even reject what I'm going to do. But you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to walk out there. I'm going to step out there on faith. And faith ain't going to do nothing but lead you to the path that you need to be on. Because if you step out there on faith, all you got to do, just God say in his word, he said, in his word, he said, he wasn't asking for much. He said, all you need is the faith of a mustard seed. And if you ever go to the store and get a pack of seeds and look at the mustard seed so small, God said, I ain't trying to, you ain't got to start with no big faith. All you got to do just start with a little bit of faith. And you see God did it that time. I'm going to have faith enough to believe God going to do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be just that naive or that's however, to believe that God did it for me one time. I'm gonna have faith enough to believe that God could do it again. And I'm always talking about forgiveness and stuff like that. And then if you know you done wronged somebody, you done said, you done killed somebody with your mouth, you done crucified somebody with your tongue, you just done you dug a ditch, a grave for them, and buried them with your mouth. And now God is convicting you, and the Holy Spirit is getting messages from God to tell you, to lead you to go and ask that person for forgiveness. But what if they don't accept it? When the Holy Spirit leads you to do something, do it. Because see, when the Holy Spirit is working on you, the Holy Spirit is working on that person that you need to go to as well. And then maybe not, because they might don't have that kind of connection to God, and maybe they don't even know nothing about God. And their heart still might be hard. They still might want to hold that grudge. But when you do what God tell you to do and go to that person and ask that person for forgiveness, sincerely and humbly ask that person for forgiveness for whatever you've done, whatever you said, even for whatever they thought you did or said. When you just go to that person, and even if I know I ain't doing that, I know I ain't said nothing, don't just leave it like that, because it's not only it's gonna grow, it's going to fester, and it's going to grow, and it's going to cause problems, and it's going to keep on causing problems. And it's not even about you. Well, I'm going to be the bigger person. It's not about you being the bigger person. It's just that you being the person that's going to do what's right. It ain't about you being so, well, I'm just going to be see, you got the wrong attitude already. I'm just going to be the bigger person. Now you walking into that with the wrong attitude already. Just say, you know what? She feels this way. He feels this way. And they assume I said this. I didn't say it. However, if they feel like I have wronged them, then I'm gonna go to them. I'm gonna ask them to forgive me for whatever it is that they thought that I did, whatever it is that they thought that I said. This is the talk that you're having with yourself. When you're going to someone to ask them to forgive you, well, for whatever I said, whatever I did, forgive me for that. No, that's not the way you approach someone. I know when I know when I done offended somebody. They ain't got to tell me. And sometimes I don't know when I have offended someone. And then I see they have that nasty attitude towards me, where they when they talk to me, they short when they talking to me. And when I ask them a question, they just answer that question. And then I have to go and think about that thing for a while. And then I have to go to God and say, Lord, I don't know what's going on, but illuminate me. Shine the light on what's going on so I can see better and take the proper steps to go and get this right. So I don't go to somebody and say, if I done something. When I need to step to a person, at first I have to ask God to humble me enough to go to that person to ask them to forgive me, because, sometimes we go to people in the wrong way, and that just mess things up altogether. And I go to a person, I say, like, what's going on? Apparently I said something, I did something, I don't know exactly what I said. I don't know exactly what I did. However, whatever it was that I said or did, please forgive me for that. Even bring that back down, bring that to my recollection of what it is that I said. And whatever it is, I am sorry. I apologize for that. I ask you forgiveness for that. Forgive me for that. So I don't go back and do that same thing, not to you and not to anyone else, because everybody don't know my sense of humor. And some people, they just don't have a sense of humor at all. And you have to deal with them the way, that serious side. You just have to deal with them in a serious type of way. And when someone come to me and, they said, well, whatever they say to ice me, and I said, well, okay. Okay. Because see, I know asking forgiveness is not for them, it's actually for me. to release me of that burden, release me from you looking at me all cross-sided and hateful. And when I walk by, you turn your head like you done smelled something. How you? I know you ain't smelled me. If you did, you didn't smell nothing but some Canvas Beauty or Chanel or some Michael Kors or Prada or some Estee Lauder. That's what you might be smelling. But you got that old stank look on your face when I pass by. No, I don't want that. I'd rather just go ahead on and say, I am sorry. I'm sorry, but please forgive me for what it is that I said. And then, when they say, well, somebody, then I got to stop you when you come telling me about what somebody said. No, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no ham, no spam, no cheese. And most people who know me already know that I don't do that. Somebody said. Well, somebody told me that you said, if you can't present that somebody while we talking, we can't talk. And then when you bring them to me, I'm gonna listen at I'm gonna ask that somebody, okay, now what it was that I said, bring that back to my recollection. So I can properly ask this person to forgive me. But 9 times out of 10, I'll tell you what I said on my own. You ain't got to ask nobody. You ain't gonna have to try to figure out what it is that I said. Because like I said, I was bold. I was a bold soldier for the devil. I'm even bolder for God now. So it's a lot of things that we just need to get rid of. That backbiting. Stop talking about people. Stop putting each other down. Get rid of that. Get rid of the jealousy. Get rid of the attitude, the stinking thinking, the meanness. Get rid of, because if you don't get rid of all of that stuff, it don't bring on nothing. It brings on problems. It's gonna be problems on top of problems on top of problems on top of problems. And then you can't even, sometimes you won't be even to dig yourself out of what you cause. And then sometimes it's what other people bring, and they just bring all their garbage and they just dump it on you like you one of them big old green things that they have in the back of businesses or at apartment complexes, where that big green trash bin where they just bring everything and just dump it on you. Just dumping on. Get rid of being a trash can for people. Get rid of it. And when he was talking, it just, it was just bringing so many things to my remembrance. It was just bringing so many things to my remembrance. And he was telling children, he said, instead of talking back to your mama, talk to God. Instead of slamming doors, pick up that Bible and slam it down on that desk and start reading your Bible. And some of the stuff he was saying was comical, but I was watching the children. I was watching the teenagers. I was watching them. And they were laughing and they were nodding their head. Yes, yeah, that's right. So I feel as though they were getting um he was getting across to them. And the youth that in our church, they were commissioned to take notes. And when we are instructed to take notes in the church that I attend, that means something is coming up. And for us, taking, our pastor give us homework a lot, where we have to dig in the Bible, we have to search the word, and take out those nuggets and take out the pearls of wisdom that's in the Bible. So my church is a Bible studying church. It's a Bible teaching church. So we have homework. We just did some homework the last 2 Sundays we were assigned the things that talk about the character of God, the promises of God. And that make you have to go in the Bible and search the promises of God. Yeah, you can go on Google and say, Google, how many promises in the Bible? Google, what does this say? But see, Google tell you what Google tell you, but the Bible, the 39:27, the 66 in the 66 books in the Bible will not only tell you, it will some things will jump out on you and just jump on you. The Bible will bless you, it will encourage you, it will convict you, it will make you cry, it will make you laugh, it'll make you jump for joy, it will give you peace, it will give you the happiness that you thought had eluded you. Everything you need is right here in the 39:27, the 66 books of the Bible, from the old to the new, from Genesis to Revelation. Everything you need is a roadmap to life in this book. In this book. And then in my morning reading this morning, it was talking about the Wright sisters, how the Wright sister, when Orville and his brother was making that inventing the airplane, they left their bicycle business to do this, and their sister was a nurse, and she came in and filled out. We gotta be a service to other people, and that don't mean servicing others is nothing but just like helping somebody. Some I don't think everybody is all teachers are not in teaching for the right reasons. And I always say nurses and doctors, they not in all people don't have the attitude that it takes for a good nurse and for a good doctor. I believe some people are called to teach, some are called to preach, some are called to be nurses, some to be called to be doctors, and some, there's a lot of parents that shouldn't be parents, but they got kids. But they have kids. And like serving other people, I would sometimes we serve others not knowing, and by serving someone, that just means if you got an elderly neighbor, keep an eye out on that neighbor. Even though I stay in this building where I stay in, I don't know everybody, and I don't even know most of the people that live in this building. I may know about 10 people, but by me getting on that elevator sometime and just sitting outside and I watch the people, and then they get to know who I am, because I'm one of maybe five black people, maybe six black people that live in a building with 97 apartments. With 93 or 97 apartments, I'm only maybe six of one of the blacks that I'm one out of six of the black people that live here. But you know what? It's nothing wrong. It's nothing, too big or too small for me to help somebody in one of these apartments. Sometimes I feel like I say, well, I don't go out of my way for people. But see, if you don't do something for, sometimes if you don't go out of your way for people, people won't go out of their way for you either. You know, just when you see people on the side of the highway with the hood of their car up, and cars just zooming by, just zooming by, just zooming by, and then it don't take but one person to stop to help you get your car started until you get home, until you get to a gas station, or until you get to uh, some kind of garage or something. It don't take but one person. And that, I used to watch my mom. My mom would say, I want to learn everything there is to learn about a car. Because, see, my husband's not going to be around all the time. I need to learn how to change a tire myself. So if I get a flat tire, I can do it myself. But sometimes we just have to go out. We have to step outside of ourselves to help each other. Not to hinder. That's why I say, if I can't help you, I ain't gonna hurt you. If I don't know it, I ain't gonna pretend like I'm gonna know it, because everything I talk about is what I know about and things that I have been through. So I can't talk about what I don't know. I ain't gonna even try to perpetrate that fraud by talking about something that I don't know. What I'm doing now, I'm serving other people, because I could tell you how to forgive somebody, and I can tell you the benefits of forgiving somebody. I can tell you how to stop being so nasty, being so rude, and then you think that's so cute. No, and stop being stubborn, and stop misunderstanding everything and everybody. I could tell you about that because that's how I was. That's how I was. And God couldn't impart no wisdom on me, no understanding. And then when I came to myself, the moment I came to myself and thinking that everything was gonna be all right, that people were just gonna, it was hard for people to accept me how I am now, because some of them still see me as who I used to be. But see, those people that see me like who I used to be, I don't see them, because you still in the past, baby. I'm way up here. I'm in 2025. And you still back there in the 1990s, early 2000. I ain't there. I ain't there. I'm here now. I'm and I got a bright future ahead. I have a bright future ahead. And so, we got to learn how to be helpful towards each other. You know, when a person is sick and they done had death in the family, and we say, well, I'm here for you if you need anything. If you know they're going through that mourning period, they're going through and sometimes people don't need for you to do nothing but just sit right there. And when like when people call me and I listen to them and I listen to them, and then they say, you still there? And I'm saying, yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening. I'm just listening. Because 9 out of 10, a person like to say, well, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, you do know. And I tell people, yeah, you do know. Excuse me, you do know. You just don't want to do what it is that you know to do. So you just say, I don't know. For whatever reason, you don't want to hurt somebody's feeling. You scared to do it. No. Don't tell me about what you don't. Yeah, you do know. You know what to do. You know what to say. And sometimes you don't want to hurt a person's feelings, but being honest and the truth don't hurt. The truth don't hurt. A lie hurt. That's what hurts, a lie. Because you could have told me the truth in the beginning. Yeah, I would have got mad. Yeah, I might have got pissed off. But then at the end of the day, after I done sat down and thought about it, you was right. But instead of you telling me the truth, you rather had told me a lie. Being honest with someone, that's serving someone, that's being totally honest. Girl, now you know you shouldn't put that. Where you going? Where you going with that on? Uh-uh. No. If you got somebody in your life that you know how to talk to the people in your life. The way I talk on here is the way I talk to people sometimes. Because I know I can say that to them, and they know that they can say, because me and one of my friends in church, one of my church members, we have a banner. We go back and people be looking, and the pastor had saw us one day, one Sunday, and he stopped and he looked. I said, Pastor, this is the way we are. I said, this is the way we are. And then when he left, turned around, I said, mind your business, because this is the way that she and I talk. That's the way we care. She could say some things to me that somebody else can't say to me. And I could say some things to her that somebody else can't say to me. When we're getting ready, when the tea party was announced, and so she said, Marita, you going to the tea party? I said, I'll be decorating. So I say, I guess. She said, you got your ticket yet? I said, no. She said, don't buy your ticket. I'm gonna buy your ticket. She said, I'm gonna bless you. I'm gonna buy your ticket. And see, when you treat people the way that you want to be treated, not the way that they treat you, but the way that you want, you treat people how you want to be treated. And it'll come back to you. Even when you do good to the people that talk about you, that done plotted, done scheme. When you do good to them people, good come back to you. And then I done told y'all how I didn't like that man. I couldn't stand for that man to talk to me. And that man bought a part to go on my car. The I, Man bought a part to go on my car. And do you honestly think that I did not go and tell that man thank you, and that I appreciate that I had to humble myself? When that man was asking me, do you have any money? I ain't got no money. Do you got any gold like jewelry? I ain't got none of that either. I buy all mine. All I got is a Pandora bracelet and a watch that I ain't finna give up. Because everything else I get it from Target in the hair store. So, sometimes we have to humble ourselves because the very person that we don't like and the very person that we done talked about and the very person that we done had a mean stinking attitude with, gotta make that be gotta make you a footstool for that person. God make that person be the very person that you gonna need. So you have to treat people. And I used to tell my kids growing up, treat people how you want to be treated, not the way they treat you. Just because they being nasty and rude to you, you ain't got to treat them like that. Treat people the way that you want them to treat you. And I guarantee you, the people that's being nasty and rude to you, it's gonna cut you. They gonna need you before you need them. They are going to need you before you need them. Oh, good morning, Nikki. I drank water out of cans and saved the cans for my 90-year-old neighbor that I lived next to for years. Even though I've moved, I still take them to her. And you know what? That's what we supposed to do. When you have someone, like for the Tea Party, when it was announced again. So my pastor, there's a single lady in church, and I think she have four. There's two because he bought the tickets for the mom and her four daughters. Then he bought the tickets again for another mom, and she have two daughters. So he bought tickets. He blessed them to be able to go to this tea party. And that's what we supposed to do. We supposed to be helpful, and we supposed to serve each other in ways that not for show. You don't do nothing for show, because for show ain't nobody gonna see it but the people that's around looking at it. But when you do something from the heart, everybody gonna know about it, because it's not going to be you that's going around telling everybody. It's going to be that person that you help that's going to say, that's a nice person there. Because I can remember when I was down to my last dime, I ain't know what to do. And all she didn't even make no big on scene about it. She just came and hugged me and put a little something in my hand. I didn't even know what it was. I was finna throw it away until I looked down and it was just what I needed, just at the nick of time. And I could say that because it happened to me. Girl, Ruben had enough gas for me to get to church and get across that bridge and sit down for a little minute, because I didn't want to ask Verena for nothing, because that was the time that she's trying to pay for Jordan's trip to New York. And then Jordan had a trip to New York. And then right after, before New York, she had a trip to Universal Studios, where she was at a workshop for 4 days. And that trip was like $300. Then New York turned around. That was what $1,000 or something like that, 500 to $1,000 for her to go to New York. And then on top of that, she's paying for this gown, $1,600 for a prom gown. And then she got to buy the tickets, buy a ticket for her $60 ticket to get in the prom. So she got money on top of money on top of money. Then I'm trying to keep her anxiety down so I can't text her. And then I know what my son at that time was going through. And then got one in the hospital, knowing what he was going through. I said, Lord, I ain't gonna even try to worry about this. So after church, this lady come up to me and she said, girl, I just love you so much. And she was hugging and her hands was fumbling around with my hands. I said, well, I love you too, sister. I love you too, and hugging. And so I happen to be walking out the church and I'm peeping in my hand and see what this lady that gave me money to put. She didn't know it was money to put gas in my car, but this lady that gave me some money. When I saw that, I just got in my car and started praising God, because God will give you what you need when you need it before you even have to ask. But you know what? You got to have the right attitude for people to want to do something for you, for people to even think about doing something for you. And people know when you're being fake. People know when you're being phony. People know that. And when you're being like that, people don't want to have nothing. They start being fake and phony right along with you. When people do that, oh, hey, how you doing? I get ready. Look, hey girl, how you doing? I get ready. I sing right along with them. I sing right along with them. But I thank God for grace and mercy. I thank God that mercy has not left the building. So I was reading this morning, right? And I came across this scripture. It's Philippians 2, 3, and 4. You can go and read it for yourself, but it says, in humility, value others above ourselves, not looking to your own interests, but to the interests of others. When you are helping people, what's your motive for helping people? For people to see it, what you could get out of it? Are you just genuinely helping someone? Just that's when you putting other people above yourself. I got somewhere to go, but my neighbor need a ride. Come on, girl, I could take you where you need to go. I get where I'm going, but that's out my way. That's out my way. However, I'm still gonna take you because I remember a time when I didn't have Ruby. I remember a time when I needed someone to take me places. And this lady, Bonnie, who lived right upstairs, this lady will always tell me, Marita, anywhere you need to go, just let me know a day ahead. And I don't have no problem taking you. Even with Ruby being okay now, if I when I'm sitting downstairs sometime and she see me, she just light up. Oh, Marita. She has that little, oh, Marita, how are you today? You look so lovely. And she'll come up, and I'm not a hugger, but you know what? I don't push if I don't like to be touched like that. So because if I don't initiate it, it just bothers me for people to touch me. But when she come up to touch me, because I know this lady is real, and if I need anything from this lady, I could go and ice this lady for it. And she said, Marita, I don't mind taking you nowhere. She said, because you go in the store and you get what you need and you come right back out. And then she said, you're just a nice person. She said, I really like you. And I said, well, thank you, Bonnie. It's nice. It's just nice to be nice sometimes. And when you get rid of all that stinking thinking and that funky attitude and act like the world owe you something and you think you all of that in a bag of chips. When you get rid of all of that, when you putting yourself so above other people and your nose is all in the air and you looking all down at people, you better remember, get rid of that. Because see, the same people you meet going up, you're going to see them same people coming down. So you got to treat people how you want to be treated. So get rid of the stinking thinking. Get rid of that unforgiveness. Get rid of that untrustworthiness. Get rid of that falsehood. Get rid of that. Get rid of holding on to grudges because you holding on to that grudge. Do you honestly think? Do you honestly think for 1 second that a person that you holding a grudge against is not falling asleep and they're not getting up in the morning? They're not going to their job. Do you think they done stop breathing? Do you think they holding their breath because you got a grudge? You holding on to something that happened last year? But you don't know what they did. I don't know what they did. But you know what? I know you not too smart holding on to that because when you hold on to grudges and you have unforgiveness in your heart, that that does something to your body. And you see, I don't think I'm cute, but I'm not high. My mom said I'm high maintenance. Say me and my daughter and my granddaughter, we high maintenance. Okay. I don't see it. I just I just like what I like. And I could tell when my daughter is going through something because it shows on her face. Her skin, her face start breaking out, and her lip get big on one side. And I look and I say, what are you going through? What did her hair? It'd be something about her hair and her face, her skin. And then she said, Mom, and I said, girl, let it go. Let it go. And we have a talk. And the next thing I know, her skin is looking clearer. Her lip done went down and her hair done came. And her, Verena and Jordan got that thick hair. They got that shoulder length hair. And, and when it's not you know how when you get in a mood and stuff, you don't feel like combing your hair, and you just start looking all ragged, and your skin look all dull, and it has that. It just don't have it look lackluster. It just don't look. Oh, what happened to you? It just looked like that. It looks like that. But once you get rid of that issue, when you get rid of that problem, you see, when you sitting there instead of dwelling on that problem, dwell on God. Don't worry about how it's going to get solved. Just know it's going to get solved. Just know that it's going to get solved. So there's a lot of things. And I was thinking last night, I said, you know what? I'm going to have to go home. I'm going to have to sit down. Not only think about the things that I need to get rid of, but I need to write it down, because I got to write it down. I got to write the vision and make it plain. I got to write it down. And then sometimes it be people that you got to get rid of that's hindering you. Sometimes you got to get rid of some people. You know, every time something good happens to you and you feel like you got a friend, or you got, even sometimes in your own family, don't want to see you do good, don't even want to see you prosper. And you taking them good news, and then you feeling all good about it, and you tell them, then they make you feel like, damn, why I told them? Why they act like that? Everybody don't want the best for you. Everyone does not want the best for you. But I tell you one thing, when my friend Mildred told me she was writing a book, I was so excited about that. And even when Mildred had said, Marisa, my book is finally done, I'm feeling like, well, I felt like I wrote the book. I was so, and I done got all, I felt like it was happening to me, and I was so excited. Or, I was just so eager for this book to be a success for Mildred. And when my friend daughter was going for a job, and when she texted me and said that her daughter had that job, I felt like that was my daughter had that job. I had to wait till I get off the elevator. I was walking so fast, and I got bad knees, and I'm walking real fast to get in my apartment so I could just start shouting and thanking God that this girl got her a job in the field that she went to school for. I was happy for that. We got to get rid of not being happy for each other. We got to encourage each other. We got to uplift each other, and we got to be honest and truthful with each other. We got to take the knives out the back of people that we done just backstab people. We got to take them knives out them backs and go and ask for forgiveness. We got to walk in the light, in the marvelous light. We got to let our light so ever shine brightly. We got to not let nobody dull our shine. That's what we gotta stop doing. We got to be humble enough to help someone, not for something that we could get back from it, just because. Just because that's just what we do. Just we got to stop putting our interests over other people's interests when we're helping them. It's not you're gonna don't help me if you want something from helping me. Don't help me if you got to go out there and talk about it. Because if you got to go out there and talk about it and then throw it in my face, don't help me. Let me go to God, and let me try to figure it out for a minute. And I know I can't figure it out. Let me go to God in prayer, and I wait on God patiently. And I say it that word patiently. Let me wait on God. See, I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning about that thing, patience, because I read about it this morning. And I said, oh man, here that word is again, patiently wait on God. Wait patiently on God. That means wait on God, and don't try to fix it yourself. Because see, you done already tried to fix it and done messed it up. Because if you could fix it, you will need God. So I need God for everything and all things. And God ain't looking for nothing from me but a praise, a thank you, and to worship Him in spirit and in truth. So that's why when I praise God, I be praising God in the spirit and truthfully praising God. Because whenever my time comes, all I want to hear Him say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Come on in. Come on in. Those are the words that I want to hear. So there's some things that I have to get rid of. And I got to be more, I have to be more, I got to do more service for people. Just be of good cheer. Just be happy to help someone. Not looking for anything from anybody. Just happy that I was able to help. If it's nothing but listening to someone. If it's nothing but just giving a person a word of encouragement. If it's nothing but being honest and truthful to a person. Because I'd rather for you to tell me the truth than to find out that you lied to me. Because see, when I look in the mirror, I know how I look. And I change clothes 5 times till I find the right look. And then I don't need your opinion after that because I know I look good then. I don't need your opinion when I know I am walking the straight and narrow. I don't need that. I just need you to encourage me to keep going, to keep doing, to keep being. So, there's just a lot of things that I have. I don't know what nobody else got to get rid of. All I know is what I need to get rid of. I also subscribe to the newspaper via my tablet, and I sent the paper version of Sunday to her house. She tried to give me money, but nope. And that's it. One of the ladies that's in my church, her husband is not in his 90s, and he's not doing too good. And one Sunday morning in Sunday school, she said, I just be forgetting things. And I get so frustrated. And the Holy Spirit just dropped in my spirit after Sunday school speak with her. So I went to her and I said, I call her Flow Rider. I said, Miss Flow Rider, when if you got my phone number, so she said, I think I do. I said, make sure I'm here. I'm going to give you I'm going to write it down. And you make sure you put my phone. I said, let me call you. I got your number. Let me call you. And if you see this 265 number, that's my number. And I said, whatever you need me for, whatever you need me. I said, my mom is in Lehigh. My aunt is in Lehigh. And you rap between both of them. And whenever I'm visiting my mom, I'm going to stop by. If you need me to clean, whatever it is that you need me to do, I'm there to help you. I want to be there to help you. I don't want nothing from Miss Florida, because I remember times she would stop and pick me up to take me to church every Sunday. Some Sundays she wasn't even going to church. But because she knew I didn't want to miss church, she would go to church. So it would behoove me. Who am I not to serve her, to help her, to be a helper to her? You know, I'm not asking if you need me, whatever you need me for, call me, let me know. And I'm on my way. And do I want pay for that? No, I don't want pay for that because I'm gonna get my reward. Because whatever she could give me, God could give me greater. And I'm doing it not for me, not for my interests. Not I'm putting my and I may even need it. I may even need it. But no, I wouldn't do that because she is an elder of the church and she need help. And so if that's the way that I have to serve by helping her, that's the way I do it. That's the way you do it. And Nikki, you are a true sweetheart because it's something that you're doing from the heart. It is something that you are doing from the heart, and you're not going around talking about it. You just said it this morning because this is just something that I'm talking about. And I just say, if you're going to talk, and I tell people, if you're going to talk about it, don't do it because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're doing it for the absolute wrong reason if you're going to talk about it. I rather for a person not, I rather for a person to tell it than for me to tell it. Because I just sit there and I just be quiet. And that's if it wasn't for Marika, I would, and I don't, and I get embarrassed. I don't even know why I get embarrassed, um, when people say, tell something that I have done for them. I really do because I just say, that's between me and you. I mean, but that's that's the way they feel because people see me one way, and then some people see me one way, some people see me another way. I see me a way, and God see me a way. And my thing is, I want to see me the way God see me. I want to see me the way God see me. I want to become that woman of God that He see. That's the one. That's the only person that matters to me. That's the only opinion other than mine that matters to me is God. What does God think about me? What conversation do God have about me? That's, I'm not concerned about it. But however, that's what matters to me. And me getting on here in the morning, I could not wait for some reason I couldn't wait to get on this morning because I just wanted to get this out that whatever you're hanging on to, let it go. Please let it go. It ain't worth it. Let it go. If you're angry with someone, to the point that you so angry that you mad and you can't even stand to hear that person's voice. You can't even stand to see that person. You can't even be in the same room with that person. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Ask God to deliver you from that because you can't grow where you are stagnant at. There's no growth in being mean. There's no growth in being mad and angry. You can't grow because nothing can get in because you're hanging on to that anger, regardless of how hurt you have been. Think of how hurt you were when you first heard it, and you hanging on to that hurt. At some point, you're gonna have to let that you go. You at some point you're gonna have to want to let that hurt go, unless you just like the hurt. Now, if you like to feel bad and the hurt and play that victim role and have that victim mentality, hold on to it. But if not, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And if you got a bad attitude about some things, look at the man. What Michael Jackson said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Be the change that you want to see. Let change start with you. And you can't do that on your own. You got to seek God. Seek God for understanding. Seek God for wisdom. Seek God for direction. And if your faith is wavering, seek God and ask God to strengthen your faith. Strengthen your faith. Help you to deliver me from this stinking attitude, this stinking thinking, where you don't see nothing good about nothing. Ask God to replace that. And then you will be renewed, you'll be transformed, and you'll start seeing the growth. That's my word for today. What you gonna get rid of? That's the question that I'm asking. What you got? What you got that you need to get rid of? Y'all just done heard some of the stuff that I said that I need to get rid of. There's some things I have to get rid of as well, and I'm gonna keep that to myself. And what you need to get rid of is what you need to get rid of. And then you can keep that to yourself and just get rid of it. You see, because once you start getting rid of things and you start letting go of things, people begin to see you so different. Start saying, girl, you changing. Girl, you done changed. What happened? You changing. See, because what they say don't bother you no more. It's not what they say, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. It's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. And you ain't got to answer everything. You ain't got to answer everybody. Just when it's just like when I get a phone call and it's just a number, it ain't no name. I don't answer it. I block it. I will block it. and report it. I don't know these people. I don't know this number. So we got to learn how to bob and weave, bob and weave, bob and weave, and put on our armor. Put your armor on before, get dressed before you get dressed, and it'll alleviate a lot of stuff. It'll alleviate a lot of pain, a lot of undue stress and anxiety and anger. So get rid of whatever it is that you have to get rid of. And just like AKA say, make it a great day no matter what, and smile. You have a beautiful smile. And as always, we're going to pray for each other, and we're going to continue to lift Shirley up in prayer, and her father, that he experienced comfort um, as he go through whatever it is that he's going through. And when there's something going on with the person in the family, not only does that person go through it, the family go through it as well. We're going to pray for each other. I'm going to pray that everybody today just have the best day ever. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice in it. And again, y'all go out and purchase my friend book, Delirium, A Tale of Sex and Love. Um, please support Mildred in purchasing her book from Amazon. And y'all just keep me lifted up. Y'all just keep me encouraged, because as I encourage you, I get encouraged as well to keep on going, to keep on doing. And I was reading about patience this morning, and it brought to my remembrance again. Wait on the Lord patiently. Wait and wait patiently on the Lord, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Because at the end of the day is going to end. And that's it, and that's all. That's it, and that's all. So fret not thyself over nothing, over evildoers. Don't fret yourself over the traffic jam. Don't fret yourself over that person in the office that's getting on your nerve. Don't fret yourself over nothing. Absolutely nothing. Before you talk to somebody or go at somebody, talk to God and let God walk you off that ledge. Let God walk you off that ledge. So, peace out and deuces. And remember, whenever you see me in them YouTube streets, if I don't holler at you first, holler at me. I'll holler back. Y'all had the best day ever on purpose. Have the best God filled, blessed day ever. I'm outie.